Hi, everybody. My name is Ashley, and this is IDTMyWay, the podcast where we explore innovation, design, and technology, and the ones that do it their way. Today, we are joined with Chris Collins, who is one of the managers over in the Canada division of Acuren for pipeline integrity. So, Chris, thank you so much for joining. We're excited to have you.
No, thank you. It's a pleasure.
Awesome. Sweet. So I guess just to get started, I kind of want to talk about you since you're the one on the podcast. Kind of want to get a little bit about your background, where you went to school and kind of how you even got involved in industry before even coming to Acuren.
Okay. So I graduated from metallurgical engineering from the University of British Columbia in Vancouver. So that's where I did my studies. I'm originally from the Vancouver area. So I graduated in 1998. I got started in the industry, not directly with pipeline integrity. I actually started in steel manufacturing. So my career started actually in a steel mill in the Kentucky area. So I moved from Canada to Kentucky and worked there for almost 2 years, doing mainly quality control and new product development. After that, I actually moved back to Canada into the Edmonton area in Alberta. Where I worked in another steel mill. So there's a local steel mill here in Edmonton, and I spent 12 years at that mill, working mainly in steel making. So obviously I've got a lot of experience with how steel is made and steel quality and such. Yeah. So and then about 8 years ago is when I I joined Acuren. I was actually familiar with Acuren as an industry leader in NDT. In the steel mill, we use them a lot of their NDT technicians to inspect our cranes, inspect our structural components and things. So I was familiar with Acuren at the time. I had a few also classmates that worked at Acuren too from my university. And then I joined their pipeline integrity group 8 years ago. And I was mainly overseeing their quality assurance program and their training for their pipeline integrity digs that they do. So we do about 2,000 digs a year across North America with our technicians based, here in Canada and in the U.S. and in pockets in the U.S. So, and then I have a team of engineers that we do QA/QC on those reports. We do facilitate training for the techs. We also work with the pipeline operators on their scopes of work, their new technology, and as well as, the overall, integrity management and dig programs that they run. So we've got a few large operators like Enbridge, TransCanada, Plains Midstream, and then there's a number of, and then also Kinder Morgan in the US too, that, we have kind of touch points on. So that's kind of a bit of a background on me.
Switching to Acuren, I want to focus on them and kind of give me a little bit of the history of the company. And then I do want to dive deep into, we kind of talked a little bit before we started about the services that you guys provide. So give me a little bit of a background of the company and what you guys do specifically.
Okay. No, well, Acuren's been around for, I think it's probably 40 years. They started off as a small company non-destructive company in Canada called CanSpec. That's actually how I knew them before they changed their name. So, they're in many different industries. Obviously, non-destructive testing is, one of their main ones, but they also have, assets and resources for, engineering, and also with another one with rope access for industrial services. So, so they got a broad, I think, range, not just NDT, engineering, rope access, industrial services that they provide. And then obviously the touch points for Acuren are a number of different industries. I obviously look after pipeline integrity, but they touch on pulp and paper, aerospace, pharmaceuticals, nuclear, you name it. Obviously the biggest one that they have is obviously in the oil and gas industry, which, pipeline integrity is kind of part of on that. So they've got about, we got extensive offices around North America. So there's about over 80 offices just in North America. And I think employee wise, we are just over 4,000 employees. And we also have offices, we even have offices in the United Kingdom too. So, if they're not the largest NDT provider, they're one of the largest NDT providers, I think, in North America. So.
Absolutely. Y'all sound massive. So that's awesome.
They're very large NDT companies. So, I think the one thing I enjoy about working for Acuren is just that, with the offices in the regional offices, there's definitely, it's for a large company, there's definitely a small company feel, as you work within the regions and stuff. So, but yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, I guess kind of with that, with the services that you provide in DT and otherwise, why, I guess, what is Acuren's value that they add to the industry? I kind of want to dive deeper into that.
Well, I think we work with a lot of our partners, I think, delivering, high level of reliability. Obviously, we have a lot of, we support our clients a lot in the oil and gas industry on the safe operation of their assets. So, a lot of companies, they rely on us to keep their assets safe. So, and obviously we're making investments and working with them on like new technologies, new procedures. We focus a lot really on safety and quality as part of our, deliverables to them, because obviously it's at the forefront of most of our clients. So I think from a value proposition perspective, we're working with our clients to ensure that their equipment, their assets are safe, both, and obviously keeping the public safe too, as part of it, because a lot of these assets, whether it's pipeline integrity, they're running through, people's properties or adjacent to people's properties. So, I mean, our value proposition is really around, keeping assets safe so that they can keep operating and the value there that we can provide for that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess one other question that's not necessarily Acuren related, but in general, specifically with NDT, I think we've seen across the industry, there is a huge push for NDT. So I guess I kind of want to ask you a little bit more about some of the benefits of particular methods, and specifically what Acuren does for companies, I guess.
Okay. Well, so obviously the main methods that we have are, there's MPI, magnetic particle inspection, there's ultrasonic inspection. Those are kind of the standards that we employ, for checking assets, for thickness or for any crack like anomalies, surface or subsurface. I think where the industry is going is more on advanced equipment. So I think next generation ultrasonics called phased array or time of flight diffraction TOFT is an area that is becoming more of a standard now. A lot of industries, because it's something that is it takes the technician, I think, out of the equation a little bit. It's still a very technician focus and skill sets, but, phased array is something that you can encode or record the data of a scan, particularly if it's a pipeline. We might be scanning a seam weld, and then that data can be used, for auditing purposes, checks, and and further validation from companies that like inline inspection companies and things like that. So that's I think that's where I see the industry going with new technology. There's also with phased array, there's next generation phased array, which is full matrix captures type, which is going to get better, more refined resolution, accuracy with regard to crack-like features in pipelines, particularly. Obviously, that's what I know, and then. Even then, you've got laser assessment, 3D laser assessments for imaging. So there's a number of different new technologies that are coming up, and even things that from an AI perspective that can support to assist with analysis, so that you can quicken the analysis, which I think provides value for clients when you're providing a high-end service. There's definitely a need for enhanced analysis, and AI is something that we're looking at from an assisted analysis perspective to kind of make sure that it we can do it more efficiently, but also maintain high quality. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Acuren just sounds like it gets to use all the fun technology and do all the fun things. So that's really cool.
No, it's really neat. There's definitely an openness to, getting new technology and providing that kind of training. Because really, we can either be, leaders with that, or we're getting asked for it all the time from our clients. So it's definitely something that we're investing into. So, and I guess, from, I obviously look at pipeline, we're managing up with the needs for pipeline too, because, recently in the US, they've got the mega rule for, gas
Mm-hmm.
transmission lines.
Yep.
And, a lot of operators, again, aging equipment. So they have to, know what's in the ground. So we've kind of stepped up with some, leading technology that's out there in the marketplace, but, investing in
Mm-hmm.
equipment, investing in training, with the new, MMT HSD system that can do in situ yield strength determination of pipelines, and same thing with instrument and indentation from Frontex. So those are both technologies that we have. So again, newer technology, to help and add value to our clients, so that they don't have to, cut things out and take their lines off, their gas lines offline. So
That's awesome. Sweet. I get to work with MMT, so I love their HSD tester and all the cool stuff that they're doing as well. So it's
it
cool to see
is
you're almost a middleman. So I love
it's
that.
really cool. Like, it's such an
Yeah.
interesting technology, and how they do it, and how they've kind of developed the uniqueness of it, that it does the frictional sliding with the grooves across the pipeline, and then they have their algorithm. It really is kind of neat the way they've been able to correlate that. I kind of geek out a little bit just based on the algorithms that they use to kind of the testing they do, just to, to verify it and stuff. So
Yep.
that to me is kind of an interesting, and I think, they're still working on, other aspects too, to check for toughness on their end. So I think it's definitely, for us, it's a good partnership to,
Yeah.
to work with, and then bring that to operators.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. Sweet. Well, I guess kind of before we close out, I kind of want to bring IDT Expo into the picture, because you guys are going to be exhibiting with us for the first time. And we're really excited to have you, just because of the incredible service that you provide for so many people. But with that, I kind of wanted to ask, really, what is some of the value that you see in partnering with IDT Expo in industry?
I think partnership wise, I think it's the informal environments that the IDT Expo kind of brings. You've got operators there, customers, exhibitors, industry experts. So I think
Mm-hmm.
the informal environment, allows for, a dialogue between those around challenges that everybody has in the industry. I think those things are beneficial. Obviously, with businesses, there's obviously, that concern with, I would guess proprietary things like that. But I think, challenges that everybody in the industry has are very similar. So I think having an open forum to do that allows, to, assist both yourself and the industry for, providing either better service, or it might be something that, from a safety aspect or a quality aspect that,
Mm-hmm.
would prevent, keep the public safe and things like that. So I think, from what I understand, joint industry partnerships, they're kind of key and beneficial to, keeping moving things forward. So that's,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Awesome. So, and I guess one last question for you for our June 4th event. What is, I guess, one thing you want to take away from it, or what's one thing you're really excited to hear or learn about?
I'm excited to kind of hear about, kind of what's been going on, what new things might be in the industry that maybe,
Mhm.
um, are of interest to either operators or, other industry members. So that's, to me, is what's the next thing? What are we moving
Mhm.
towards, kind of thing. So we do things, we kind of not the same way, but we have set practices, but I think there's always that need to continue to move forward, especially with new technology and what's of concern, in the industry. So that's kind of
Awesome.
what I'm
Sweet.
excited for.
Perfect. Well, for any of our viewers and listeners that are interested in hearing or watching some of the presentations that are going to be going on at our June 4th event, our Acuren Houston team will also be here too. So you'll get to meet some of them in person if you would like. If you want to view in person or online, we have that option. All you have to do is register for free at idtexpo.com. But Chris, thank you so much. It was incredible to just hear about Acuren and man, the incredible services that you provide, and just really seeing how at the forefront of industry you guys really are. So thank you so much for joining today.
No, thank you. It's a pleasure.
Awesome. Have a good one. Thank you.
Thanks.